Hi, I'm Judith, and you're watching Rockstone Sessions. Now, I'm here backstage backstage. We're in the kitchen of Concerto, the music shop in Amsterdam, and I'm here with Nadine Shah. And the British press described her as, well, the female Nick Cave. We'll see in a minute how she feels about that. And the new PJ Harvey. So that's quite a reputation to live up to already. So, Nadine, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Happy to be in Amsterdam because I love it here. But yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
And what about those comparisons that I just talked about?
Yeah, it's weird. I think with the whole PJ Harvey Nick Cave thing, I think maybe aesthetically, like I've got slicked back hair like Nick Cave and a big nose like PJ Harvey. That's pretty much the only comparison. No, I mean it's very flattering because they're wonderful artists and I really love their work, but they're not artists whose music I'd heard prior to making my own. So I do find it quite interesting. A lot of people assume that maybe I grew up listening to them, and then that inspired the sound, which is quite similar. But um, yeah, it's a lovely compliment, but at the same time, phenomenally kind of daunting because it's quite a big thing to live up to with those two guys. But I'll embrace it wholeheartedly because it's quite cool.
As you should, because it's a huge compliment, and I hear it as well too. I hear it.
Hey, oh, that's good. That's good. I'll try. But yeah, no, it's just kind of scary because I love their music so much. But yeah, it's lovely.
So let's talk about your musical influences and how you grew up, because I read that your mum's Norwegian and your dad's Pakistani. So could you describe or maybe tell us a little bit about your musical background? Maybe did you get anything from them?
To be honest, my parents aren't. They're not really musical people. I'm actually. It's almost a lie. My father has a really beautiful singing voice. Um, and if it is a muscle, maybe I got it from that guy. Um,
I was just about to say, because your dad is musical. That's what I read, right?
yeah, I suppose he sings in the shower now and again. But he used to listen. He used to play all these like really these religious, like kind of like Sufi songs, religious songs. They're called ghazals, and I hated them growing up. He'd always play them in the car because in the car it's his place, and it's so he chooses what music he plays. And I used to really hate it and like scream when he's putting it on like this is disgusting. And now I love that music, but a few people have said to me that they can hear certain intonations or something in my music that's quite similar to those religious songs. So
Because it's traditional. How do you pronounce it again? Ghazals?
ghazals,
Ghazals?
yeah.
Guzzling.
Guzzling.
It's a bit like guzzling tea. Okay, guzzles. They're like sad love songs, right?
Yeah, they're religious songs, so they're all about God. But if you take the if you just change the context, if it's not to be religious and just remove God from it, they're essentially just sad love songs. So it's a
Kind
bit like ours. Yeah, okay, yeah, they're the same. I was inspired by my dad's music. Yeah,
Yeah, just go with that.
sure.
Okay, yeah, but and then when you moved to London, I also read that you went singing in jazz clubs, and I was wondering what was the best tip that you got from those jazz musicians that you worked with.
Yeah, there was no kind of real formal advice. It was just kind of observing them. I suppose was the kind of the best kind of tip I suppose I got from them. Um, but prior to like playing jazz music, I had kind of these illusions of like grandeur, and I really wanted to do kind of pop music. And it was all about being famous and all that kind of thing, which couldn't be further from what I want to do today. But I think it was just from watching really hard working musicians. Um, and I think it was just really their work ethic that I was inspired by, and just their sheer love for what they did. Um, I mean, many of them were in their late 60s and 70s, and still, playing these tiny, and especially in those days, smoky jazz clubs and, night after night. And I think it was really that passion and dedication that that like I kind of took from the whole experience.
And now your debut album is out, and it's called Love Your Dumb and Mad. And I love the wordplay. Could you describe, could you maybe elaborate on that? Like where you got it from, what it actually means?
Yeah, it was a title. Like I didn't come up with it myself. It's a spoonerism, so like a play on words. But my favourite ever spoonerism is one by Tom Waits. Have you heard it?
I don't know, but please enlighten me.
It's the one where he says, "I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy." It's really good. But yeah, the Love Your Dumb and Mad was the title of a painting by one of my friends. In fact, quite tragically, the whole album's inspired, well, it's written, not inspired by, but it's written for and about two of my close friends who suffered from mental illness and unfortunately commit suicide, the pair of them. And so Matthew, he's the artist and one of the boys who died. I used his painting for the front cover. Songs are about Matthew on the album, and it just seemed in keeping to then name the title kind of after his painting, kind of like dedication to him. So yeah, that's where the title comes from. None of my own doing. It's all him, unfortunately.
It's good inspiration because it's a beautiful album. It's a bit sad, but it's it's beautiful. I love it.
Oh, good. I don't know. There's a lot of music that I love that's really kind of dark or like morose and stuff. But there's something I still want to listen to that a lot. Like even if it's like a sunny day, I'll still kind of opt for some kind of music like that.
Could you name an example?
Oh, there's loads of stuff. Scott Walker's my favourite artist. He's pretty miserable. Have you heard his stuff? He's great.
It rings a bell, yeah.
He used to be in a band called the Walker Brothers. And he's brilliant, so you should check him out. He's probably my biggest inspiration musically. He's just awesome. Really good.
Okay, now for something fun. Because all this dark, twisted stuff, I like it. I like it, but I've got a cool question for you. We always have some cool questions. Some quirky questions, actually. If you could have any kind of superpower, which one would you have?
Oh, invisibility. Hands down, we have this conversation quite often. It would always be invisibility, just because, like I'm quite paranoid. I'm quite a paranoid person. So I would just spy on people to see if they were talking about me all the time. But that does seem pretty rubbish, though. You should really go for something like flying, because that's pretty brilliant. No, invisibility. As I could just go and... I was going to say some really horrible things, but I really shouldn't say.
Oh, go on.
Just go and perv on Ryan Gosling when he's getting changed.
I would not object to that at all.
See? It's like... Yeah.
Thank God we had a girls' chat.
Yeah. Oh my God, Ryan Gosling. What a stereotype. Yeah, it's invisibility.
Okay. Awesome. Wow. That's all for Nadine Shah today. She's got tea and she likes to be invisible.
You should try and do a thing where you film it and then I just kind of disappear. Can you do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Make it look like I've actually turned invisible. That would be amazing.
Who's sitting next to Judith? No one.
She's gone. Her wish came true.